All right, hi guys. I am here to talk to you guys about the next layer of the yes painting and the yes painting process. So the first couple of steps in this process are outlined on my website. If you want to check those out, I'll put the links in the comments below. Hopefully I'll remember to do that. But today I just wanted to take the third step on video because, you know, it's faster than writing about it. So at this point you've got your dream list that you created, and then from that you took some of the items from your dream list and you dreamed into them, and you wrote about them in a stream of consciousness style. And then in step 2, with that stream of consciousness writing, you then looked over that and picked out 5 words from each item that you wrote about that really summed up the feelings behind that thing. So now you have a list of 5 to who knows how many words. And what I'd like you to do at this point is look at that list and highlight the ones that really jump out at you, really resonate with you, and then pick one to start with. And what we're creating at this stage of the painting, and you'll see I did this is on a Make Your Mark canvas. So the first layer of this canvas was all the fabulous dreams and intentions that were written by other people, by this community. It was a community canvas. And so that was the first layer on this one, and then I did this abstract color painting layer, and then I did what is your step 3 in the painting that you're working on, which will really be your first layer of painting. It can also be done with acrylic paint markers, paint pens. It doesn't have to be done with a brush and paint. But what you're going to do is you're going to pick that one word that sort of is the underlying, most resonant with you. For me, what I started with was this word here, supported. And what you want to do with that word is really feel what that is like. What does it really feel like to feel supported? So maybe the thing that you did your stream of consciousness writing about was travel. Just a minute, we got a big truck, a school bus going by. And, you know, maybe it was like, that trip to Italy that you always wanted to take, to, what is that, Cinque Terre, right? That beautiful little area of those 5 villages along the ocean. And so you wrote stream of consciousness about that, and from that you picked words like expansive and adventurous. So you're going to pick what word from those lists that you have that is the most resonant. So you might pick adventurous. And then you feel into that. What does that feel to feel adventurous? You know, you feel open, you feel expansive, you feel inviting, you feel maybe a little daring, maybe you feel curious, maybe you feel fearless. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with the one word, and then you're creating a web of words from that first word. But the words need to come from the feeling. So that's the really, really important thing here, is about being in the feeling. Because a word is just a representation of a thought, that's a vibration that causes a feeling, comes from a feeling space, and that's where you want to be. You want to be in the feeling level. So I started with supported, and I had this image of myself lying on one of those blow-up floaty raft things in a lake, and just feeling that my whole body weight was supported, completely supported. There was no way I was going to sink, and just feeling that water just gently moving. And from there I felt relaxed, and I felt safe, and I felt so many different things. I felt held and embraced and nurtured and permitted and invited and inspired. And from all of these things, different things start to populate this web that you're creating, this beautiful web of well, Abraham Hicks refers to this as, you have your point of attraction, and that they call this the grid. And that from here, wherever you start, whatever feeling you're starting with, when you really, really feel it, then other inspirations, thoughts, and feelings come to you that are in resonance, vibrationally in harmony with that place that you start from. So that's what I want to invite you to do on your canvas or in your journal or on your watercolor paper, whatever you're working in. For this Yes painting, I love to do, I'm an acrylics girl, but you could use markers, you could do whatever you want. I did some fun stuff with watercolor markers too, where you could write this whole grid work in watercolor marker on your watercolor paper, and then the next stage would be to continue to work with the watercolor markers to create your yes over the top. So that is what I want you guys to do next, is take whatever thing that you're creating this in. Like I said, it can be on heavy paper, it can be in your journal, whatever. Just do it, right? And start creating your grid, your web of support, your imaginings of what you're calling to yourself. All right? And it is very possible and very likely that whatever word you start with, many of the other words that you highlighted on your list are going to come up in relation to it. So share below in comments if you want about what word you're starting with and sort of what came from this. But just remember to just sit, give yourself some time, some quiet time when you're not going to be interrupted. Maybe put on some meditative music and just allow yourself to really imagine what this feels like, whatever that is, that starting point for you, and then start creating. So let's see, what am I going to do? I filled in a lot of this yesterday, but I have a few spots over here and some down here. And I'm just going to take a minute and feel into this and see what comes up next for me. So integrated comes up, and I don't know if I have that on here or not yet. And I also feel a little bit guided. So if you're painting your words, then you'll just let them dry before you move on to the next step, which is outlining your yes word. You can see I started outlining here the shape of this horse, which I saw in the abstract painting in this bottom layer. And I don't know if that horse will stay there, but since I saw him, I wanted to highlight him because the horse has been really important to me recently. As some of you may have seen my riding video. And as you start to paint whatever you end up painting, In this case, you'll be painting the yes word. Really doesn't matter what you're painting as long as you are staying in that vibration. You know, go back to that word. And if you ever feel like you get distracted or your thoughts wander, just come back to that word and let that word guide you back to the feeling where you began. And then continue from there. I don't know, did I write important on here? I will feel important. Blessed. Okay, so you get the idea. Just stick with the feeling and it'll be great. All right, thanks for joining me. Bye.